Hey there, adventure seekers. Grab your curiosity cup, because it's time for another UTR Tale of Two Cities. First, it's Ann Arbor for some pickled pleasures, a store with more, and a wild, watery ride. Then it's Ypsilanti for curly locks, righteous robots, and some frozen faces. Hold tight and stay tuned, because here come the cool people, places, and things that make Michigan a great place to be.
Support for Under the Radar Michigan comes from the Michigan State Housing Development Authority. For 50 years, MSHDA has been proud to help thousands of Michigan residents find a home and open all the possibilities found within. MSHDA, opening possibilities.
It's human nature to plan ahead, but sometimes our best ideas come when there's no plan at all. When we just go with the flow and let the day unfold as it was meant to be. A day on the water, soaking up the sun. A day we leave up in the air. Yesterday, this was just a last-minute idea. Today, our big surprise is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
Additional support provided by the Ann Arbor Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. Visit annarbor.org as your gateway to Chelsea, Dexter, Manchester, Milan, Saline, Ypsilanti, and Ann Arbor.
I've been around the world, but there's one place I keep coming back to. And the more I explore, the more I realize it's the place to be. I'm Tom Dalton, and this is Under the Radar Michigan. Have you ever wanted to go to a part of Michigan that's so cool, you become cooler just by being there? Well, I know exactly where you need to go. Just hope it works on me.
Ann Arbor and Ypsilanti are two great cities connected by the urge to educate, innovate, and give us restaurants where we're glad we ate. Now, the locals call them A Squared and Ypsi. I call them two great places to plant your person and explore all the great things they have to offer. If you're looking for interesting people who are doing awesome things, you've come to the right region. Ann Arbor and Ypsilanti are located just a stone's throw from each other in southeast Lower Michigan. Ann Arbor to the west and Ypsi to the east. First up, we hit awesome Ann Arbor, an enlightened landscape of cool places, green spaces, and plenty of people who love where they live. And the food scene here will melt your mouth-watering mind. And speaking of food, we found a guy who put his dream in a jar.
You remember Peter Piper, don't you? The guy that picked a peck of pickled peppers? Well, here's a person who's pickled more peppers than Peter Piper could ever even possibly pick. And I'm going to prove it to you. Okay, where's my dollar? I said it.
Actually, at the brinery, they go way beyond just packaging peppers. David Klingenberger and his mighty crew of brazen briners bottle everything from sriracha and sauerkraut to traditional tempeh and even an award-winning kimchi.
Okay, David, I'm here to stimulate my inner economy. And I don't even know what that means.
Well, you've come to the right place. Yeah, at the brinery, we like to jokingly refer to it as stimulating your inner economy, but you could put ecology in for economy. But it's a complex ecosystem of bacteria and all kinds of fun stuff. So we're here to stimulate your inner economy or your ecology.
Now, I understand that a huge cabbage crop is what is responsible for you getting into this business?
That's right. So just like sauerkraut was invented by our ancestors, it was a way to preserve cabbage or other produce. There was no refrigeration in the ancient days, so sauerkraut came about from preserving the harvest. And so a local farm that I used to work on had a bumper crop of cabbage, and so I turned it to sauerkraut, and eureka, the business was born.
Now, explain the process. You don't just pickle, you actually do fermentation?
Yeah, so we're not adding vinegar to the food. It's a natural bacterial fermentation. Just like milk turns to yogurt, it's a beneficial bacteria that eats the sugars and releases the acid, the vinegar sourness, and it preserves the produce, but also creates a biologically rich food that is good for your digestion.
So that's where the good bacteria comes in?
Yeah, and I like you say good bacteria because it's a sliding scale, like what's good and what's bad. Modern science has said, all bacteria are bad. Let's antibacterial soap on everything. But we have co-evolved with a lot of beneficial bacteria, and just how milk turns to yogurt, just how cabbage turns to sauerkraut, there are beneficial bacteria that are necessary. They already live on our skin, in our digestive system, and we want to proliferate and promote them.
So it's safer, it's better for you, you'll feel better, your immune system's better, your gut works better.
And it's more delicious.
I'm sold. You've just fixed my inner, what is it called?
Economy.
Thank you.
Ecology.
You having fun?
Having a lot of fun, yeah.
You look healthy. I'm gonna eat your stuff.
I'll send you home with some. How about, you want a barrel or two to take with you?
Yeah, I'll just back the truck up.
David is yet another example of someone who followed their heart, listened to their gut, and found their calling. And in a jar, no less. So if your inner economy is in recession, stimulate it with a boost of good bacteria from the brinery, because you'll earn interest in some awesome new foods.
Now say you're going out for a bite to eat, and one guy wants a sandwich, the other guy wants soup, and the third guy wants a shovel. I know right where you need to go.
Mark Hodesh had an idea. Now, he already ran a classic business called Downtown Home and Garden. But he wanted to create a communal space where Ann Arborites could come and connect. So in an empty lot lingering behind his store, he created Mark's Carts, a casual collection of cuisine-carrying caravans that offer people a place to congregate and celebrate Ann Arbor's awesome edibles.
Now, Mark, I don't know whether to call you a mad social scientist or a genius, because dare I say, the vibe that you've created here is incredible. It's so Ann Arbor.
And it doesn't involve foresight or large plans, but I notice things in life and businesses that I've started just sort of flow with them. So I never thought about a garden store, beer garden, and place for food carts. I bought this store in 1975 from an old German family. Their baby sister was 89, and she saddled me with this mantle early on. She said, "Georgie," to a nephew, "sell it to him. He's a good boy. He gets up early." So I bought it as a garden store, then was lucky enough to buy this little space out back that has the carts in it from the city. They didn't need it anymore. And so I thought, well, I'd visited my daughter in New York, seen a food cart, a pizza wagon on wheels. I said, well, that's pretty cool. And then the social phenomena took over, and the people liked food carts. And then on the first night the food carts opened, someone said, "Where's the beer?" And so, well, okay, good idea.
Now, when it comes to this place, I guess you'd say the garden store was the chicken.
Yep.
And the beer garden and the food carts are the eggs.
Right.
Explain, if you could, because the store here, the garden store, has such an old school, cool vibe to it.
Right. Well, that's what it came as. The Hertlers, the family that owned it before me, started in business in 1906, and they had a horse livery here. 10 cents, water and hay all day. But that is embedded, the architectural style, the lights, the creaky wood floor, that is just baked into the aura of the place. It makes people feel good to walk in. So it's not an accident. We've worked hard, and very proud of the fact that we're running the store and using it as it was intended.
What you've done is created this space that just draws people in and gets people together.
Yeah, it feels good in here. And personally, I am motivated by praise. When customers say, "I love it here," that's my day, I've made it, you know. Money is a byproduct of providing a good place for people. We just aren't racing for the bottom line all the time. And it's filled with people just chatting away, having a nice time. That's what we do. Community place.
You know, Downtown Home and Garden is great. And let's face it, there's a lot of places you can eat. So why not eat in a place that's got a lot of places? Oh, and shovels too.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Well, that's not what these folks do.
Yep, this is not nursery rhyme rowing. It's the Ann Arbor Rowing Club, a community rowing association that offers everyone and anyone the chance to race down the river in amazing speed and style. They're located on the Huron River, and they offer a complete range of rowing programs. But right now, the big question is,
Do they offer one I can accomplish?
To help me accurately assess my aquatic attributes, I saddled up in a simulator for Lisa Sorathakis.
Let me get this straight. You're going to teach me 3 weeks of proper rowing technique in 3 minutes on this machine.
Yes, absolutely.
Did you warn everybody on the river that I'm going to be out there?
I did. It took me email after email, but I did it.
Okay.
Yeah, so they all should know.
So how does this all work?
Okay, well, first you want to put your feet on these little nice feet pedals and your toes underneath the straps.
Okay, strap in.
Strap in, okay. And then you want to hold on to this
Because
nice
it seems
and
fairly
firmly.
simple. Rowing is rowing, right? I mean...
Yeah, it's a little more difficult than it looks, but
Okay.
it's not horrible. So why don't you show me what you know?
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like what I thought.
I'm doing it bad, right?
Not terrible, just maybe not the best for your body. You want to be able to do it where you make the boat go fastest when you get in the water and that you're not going to injure yourself.
Okay, okay.
So it's like a 3-part movement.
Got it,
So
okay.
come on all the way up to what we call the catch. So come up to compression.
Yes.
First thing you're going to do is keep your arms straight, legs down, push with your legs.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing you're going to do is you're going to pivot at your hips to an upright position. The last is to pull your hands in.
So it's
Down.
upright.
Yes, and then you're going to put your hands out, pivot over, legs up. So it's
This is
1, 2,
weird.
3, 1, 2, 3.
Cha-cha-cha.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, yeah.
On a scale from 1 to 2, how am I doing?
I'm going to give you a solid 1.5.
Well, with one solid semi-lesson under my belt, Lisa corralled a crew and we headed down the dock to hit the H2O.
Okay, Tom, welcome to the Ann Arbor Rowing Club.
Thank you.
Happy to have you in our boat.
Thanks for having me, everybody.
Everyone on the crew seemed to be genuinely happy that I was there. Until I started rowing, that is.
Ow! It didn't come out of the water and it hurt me. Am I supposed... Oh, gosh. This isn't as easy as it looks.
But not to worry, as usual, I caught on quick.
I've almost got the hang of
You
it.
got it.
Let's work on that timing. Nice job, Tom.
Nice.
You know, you really have to pay attention.
You had to pay.
It's not that I'm not used to paying attention, but oh my gosh, when my oar goes too deep in the water.
Yep. That's, if you go really too deep, you can do something called catching a crab.
Catching a crab?
Yeah, you don't want to do that. It's not like fishing in Alaska.
Well, if you've got butter and melted butter, there's nothing
This is
wrong with that.
Not a crab you can eat.
So if you had to sum up what's so special about this sport, what would you say?
Well, my family, we call this our healthy little obsession
Yeah.
because it gets you outside. It gets you a lot of really good exercise.
Yeah.
You get to meet a ton of really nice people.
Yep.
And you get to go and race at regattas if you want. And bring home medals because inside we're all kindergartners who want medals.
I can guarantee I will not bring home any medals, except maybe if it's a beer can. That's
There
the
you
only
go.
medal that I will be bringing home.
Oh yeah, and then there's the beer afterwards. That's a good thing too.
We didn't mention that. I want to join.
Well, not only did I do a lot better than I thought I'd do, I had an absolute blast. If you're looking for a new hobby that'll help you connect with Michigan's great outdoors, this is a watery one you'll want to try. Now we head east to Ypsilanti, where hip has a hold on the entire town. This is an awesome place with classic architecture, a cool, funky vibe, and tons of people who are passionate about being here. Our first stop is in Ypsi's historic depot town. It's a part of the city where you can relax, be who you are, and totally let your hair down. And speaking of which,
Ever have a bad hair day? To be honest, I have a lot, hence the hat. But you're about to meet somebody who had so many bad hair days, they decided to liberate locks around the world.
Rachel Blistine used to hate her hair. And like a lot of people, for years she tried to make it something it wasn't. Then a light went on, she started Original Moxie, and her hair-raising ride began. But now, it's my turn.
Rachel?
Yes.
I need your help.
Okay.
Yeah, and for those of
here.
you who watch this show and have never seen me without my hat, there. So there. I'm gonna have my hair fixed up real nice for you so I can occasionally take it off. So yeah, what problems do you see with my hair?
Well, let me do a 7-point assessment on your hair and scalp here, Tom, and let's see what's going on.
I don't think I have that many points.
Well, you'd be surprised. Let's see here. So your scalp is actually relatively tight,
Right.
which can lead to hair loss. You want to be aware of that.
Yeah, maybe perhaps you can help me with that as well. What didn't you like about your hair? Because your hair is so awesome.
My hair drove me nuts for the first 30 years of my life, and I wanted it to be blonde and straight, and so I did everything possible to straighten it and make it a different color and just not be who I was. So it took me a long time to appreciate my hair. I'm going to put some scalp therapy on you to help your scalp here.
Is it supposed to feel that?
You're going to feel a cool tingling sensation.
Yes.
Don't be alarmed.
Don't hurt my brain, there's not much there.
I don't think it'll go through to your brain.
Okay.
It doesn't usually happen.
So what did you decide to do when you finally decided you were going to change, you were going to just be who you were and be natural and let your hair be the way it was?
I think it was a combination of being surrounded by people who embraced their natural texture and getting positive reinforcement myself. And also just getting fed up with all of the steps that I had to do to constantly keep my hair looking somewhat normal. So I think I just got kind of burned out with the whole trying to not be who I was, and I just had to reach bottom, I think, before that.
So you'd started in your kitchen?
I started in my kitchen. And at first I was just creating products for myself. I had moved from Maryland to Michigan, and my hair really didn't like Michigan very much, especially the winters. So I was trying to create products that would help me keep some moisture in my hair, and it was really just for myself initially. And then I gradually started, once I had a couple formulations that were pretty good, I started talking to friends and family members, and they also needed products for their hair, which was very different from my hair. And so I explored kind of more of the basic principles of what makes different hair types tick, and trying to create products that would fit those different characteristics.
And you discovered that what you were doing, people really wanted.
Yes, yeah. We got one of our first clients was actually Plum Market in Michigan, and it was because a customer of mine was shopping there and got a compliment on her hair from the body care buyer. And that's really how we got a lot of our breaks, was people being complimented on their hair and word spreading just by word of mouth.
Right. I mean, you're saving people's hairs. I don't think you can save mine. I think it's too far gone.
There are still some hairs to save there, though.
Seriously?
There are, yep.
They're numbered. If you can try not to lose any.
I won't take any, I promise.
Okay, thank you. Well, Rachel at Moxie helped me see who I was truly meant to be. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta go start a reggae band. Irie, whatever that means. Gort, Klaatu, Barada, Nikto. Now, if that means anything to you at all, you love robots. Gort's my favorite. But you're about to meet a guy who's starting his own invasion of these metal men. Oh boy.
Cree Fuller is part artist, part junk collector, part inventor, and one of the most likable and creative minds you'll ever manage to meet. He calls his collection Tin Angry Men, and if you like cool, you'll be captivated.
You, sir, are an insane genius. How does one become a robot artist?
I don't know about that. Well, take a shine to robots first thing, and then be a tinkerer, and just tinker away until things start happening for you.
Because after seeing what you've built here, you have serious artistic talent. You're also a little twisted, which I like.
Yes.
But you could build anything. You just fell in love with robots?
I've always been kind of intrigued by it, you know, like that vintage aesthetic of robots, what people in the 50s thought the future was going to be, and I just thought it was funny. And I think that, I loved making lamps when I was a kid. I loved carving pumpkins. So this is actually kind of a combination of the two, just a little bit more involved.
Well, the interesting thing to me is they're all, you know, ominous and foreboding, but they have these lovable characters about them that make you want to take one home.
Hopefully so, yes. You know, the name Tin Angry Men, that wasn't something I didn't plan on making angry-looking robots. They just kind of happened like that. So I have made them a little bit more kind and not so malevolent, you know. But I get a kick out of making them a little bit spooky and mean and twisted. You know, I think it's how I kind of leave it on the field, so to speak. Yeah. I myself, I think of myself as a happy, you know, peaceful person. Yet I make these kind of twisted things. So I just kind of get it out there, put it into them, they can have it, and I walk out of here happy as a clam.
Well, I'm a firm believer that art is what gives a community its mojo and its character and its feel. And you're a big part of the art community in Ypsi because you're part of what's called Dipsy?
Dipsy, yes. It's a little indie art fair. We started about 6 years ago, and it was just a way for us, you know, we found ourselves needing an outlet for our art.
I heard it described as not your grandfather's art show.
Well, you know, I've sold plenty of robots to grandpas, so, you know, depending on how kooky your grandpa is, it might just be his art show.
Well, now you're from Ypsi?
Originally from Mount Pleasant. I moved to the Ann Arbor area in '97.
All right, what do you love about this area?
You know, it's about the speed that I want. It kind of reminds me of Mount Pleasant in terms of scale. There's a little bit more, you know, I love the culture around here. Certainly the artist culture is amazing, and it's open to it, it appreciates it, it encourages it. There's so many people around here to get inspired by. It's endless.
Can you make a robot that can host a TV show?
Yes.
Yes, I'm off the hook.
It won't be the TV show you're thinking of, but...
Oh.
I don't think I've ever seen a more charismatic collection of little metal men in my entire life. Or met a cooler cat than Cree. If you find robots riveting, or maybe you want an ironclad clown around your house, reach out to Cree Fuller at 10 Angry Men, and he'll fabricate you a freaky friend in no time at all.
Now, we all know that ice cream is probably the best thing ever invented, ever. But here's a guy who loved it so much, he made his own, got on this bike, and shared it with the whole world. I like that.
If there's one thing Rob Hess likes more than ice cream, it's people. So when he invented his own brand of frozen fun, he hopped on his bike and started delivering frosty, cold, creamy goodness to all of Ypsi. Hence the name, Go Ice Cream. Rob makes real ice cream the old-fashioned way. And now that he's got a brick and mortar, he's making more people happier than ever before.
Okay, so you and your wife moved to Ypsilanti.
Yeah.
You fall in love with the town. I get that part.
Right.
But when did you become the ice cream man?
I became the ice cream man. It was sort of a slow process, actually. I was making ice cream as sort of a stress reliever from my passion for making films. And eventually the ice cream started to kind of, I fell in love with like the science of it, because there's like this balance of all of these different things. Eventually I was making so much ice cream because I was interested in the science of it that it started to just take over the freezer. So like all of the vegetables started to lose their place in the freezer, and that's when I started giving it away to folks.
But when did you start delivering it on a bicycle?
That was about 4 years ago, something like that. Yeah, we're about 3.5 years old. And I just wanted to combine my love of biking and ice cream. I just thought, you know, it's great to go for the things that you love, and I thought, you know what, I think those two things can support each other, right? And just kind of keep things in balance. I love to do this, and I love to do this and pedal, so.
Well, you're right about one thing, too. There's a lot of science to making ice cream. It seems like it's a simple process, but it's actually, there's a lot of science, there's a lot of timing. It's not that easy to do well.
No, yes, it's true. I actually attended the Penn State University short course, which is like the world's most famous ice cream school. Right. So I actually went to college for a week to make ice cream, to learn how to make ice cream. And it was amazing because it's like 7 days and it's 12 hours each day, and you're studying with the world's foremost ice cream scientists. And all you're doing is talking about ice cream, like at the molecular level. But it was amazing. Like, I could talk about it with these folks for, 80 hours straight and still love it even more. And I'm still mystified by it, you know what I mean? I'm still trying to figure it out.
Well, you've worked hard, and now you've got your own brick and mortar ice cream. How does it feel to have your own place?
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
How's
weird
it feel
to
to
hear
have it,
though.
It paid off, it worked.
It's amazing, man. It's amazing. Like just sitting here and watching, kids have their first ice cream cone, or watching people come on a date night, watching people come in and meet their neighbors and talk about flavors and get excited to talk to each other. It's far beyond what I ever thought it would be. I knew that I loved ice cream. I knew that it could bring people together. But when you see it every single day for 8 hours, 9 hours a day, it's life-changing.
You're selling happiness.
Yeah, totally.
And you enjoy watching people eat ice cream.
Yeah.
You want to watch me eat something?
I totally do.
Because I'm ready for a serious case of brain freeze.
Let's do it.
Do you have chocolate?
Of course I got
And do you have chocolate?
Oh, I've got chocolate. I got chocolate for days.
The more time I spent with Ypsi's enthusiastic ice cream eaters, the more I saw how much the community loves this place. Rob Hess at Go Ice Cream is a great example of someone who loves where they live, loves what they do, and makes the most of every day. He also happens to make some of the most bestest ice cream to ever pleasure my palate. Bonus.
Support for Under the Radar Michigan comes from the Michigan State Housing Development Authority. For 50 years, MSHDA has been proud to help thousands of Michigan residents find a home and open all the possibilities found within. MSHDA, opening possibilities.
We all have one, that perfect spot, a special place we go to smooth out the ripples of the day. Our perfect spot is calling. Our perfect spot is Pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
Additional support provided by the Ann Arbor Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. Visit annarbor.org as your gateway to Chelsea, Dexter, Manchester, Milan, Saline, Ypsilanti, and Ann Arbor.